All right, we be live. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like the stream. I think most of you heard what just happened yesterday in the U.S. But the reason as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to come talk to you guys about it because this is unfortunately what we said is going to happen when you spread this much lies, this much hate against Israel. Events like this are inevitable, and here we are, unfortunately. And we right after just a little bit after two Jewish Americans were assassinated, just a couple of days after, now we have them being burned alive by this Muslim anti-Semite. So let me actually just tell everybody what just happened. We'll just go over what happened, who was targeted, the attack, the details of the attack, who was the attacker, and why did he do it, and what are the charges he's facing, and why is this extremely important, and what are the arguments online about this, all of this, what arguments are people are making online about this. So let me just quickly go over the details, and then I go review what people are saying, and also once again reminding everybody that this is why we need to be standing up against this much anti-Israeli hate online right now. And I really hope the rest of you guys are doing your part as well. You're not just consuming content when it comes to how to defend Israel. You're actually learning and using it. You're there active online and responding to the nonsense people are spreading against Israel, because this is the consequence. These are the consequences. People are paying a heavy price. The level of hate is peaking. I mean, it's always there. The anti-Jewish hate is always there. But, and again, guys, let me actually full screen for this. If you shouted Free Palestine, you have blood on your hand. And this is not an exaggeration. If you in any way supported the so-called Palestinian cause, you are on the side of terror. And every time you see, especially in Western countries, a Jewish person be attacked, you were part of that attack. You were part of that attack. Let me just quickly go over what happened so that I could go towards people's opinions, right? And also, I want to thank Gene in the chat, starting people's comments. I appreciate that, Gene. So let me just, okay, so on Saturday, June 1st, 2025, a man attacked a pro-Israel rally in, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Boulder, Colorado. Is that the name of the city? Boulder? Okay. Using, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Guys, please like the stream, because we are going to get not just demonetized, we're going to get deprioritized. For the sake of not getting a strike. So there's three issues. We're going to get demonetized. We're going to get deprioritized. We're going to get open up potential strike, right? So for the demonetization, there's nothing that can be done there. For the deprioritization, please like the stream so that your likes and comments actually makes up for that a little bit. For not getting a strike, I have to, hey, YouTube's algorithm, I don't know how advanced your AI has become, but I hope you could detect what I'm saying here and understand that this channel is against violence. It is against terrorism. And everything we're seeing here is what's happening on the news, and we're condemning this terrorist attack that we're about to discuss. Okay? Okay? I mean, I hope you're smart enough to understand that. Okay, so now when I say this man was using a Molotov cocktail, I hope that word doesn't trigger you. Okay, don't be a little snowflake, YouTube's AI or algorithm or whatever. Okay, this is what happened. This was on the news. Okay, do you get that? Okay, I hope you get that. Like, was that okay? All right. So he used a Molotov cocktail, guys. This is monstrous. He wanted to take these people out in the most painful, vile, disgusting way. Let me actually lower this a little bit so you guys could see the guy in this video. You could see the guy with the shirt. That's him. And the reason why I think he's shirtless, you could correct me if I'm wrong, is because one of the cocktails that he was using, fell on himself, and he was burning, and then that's why he took off his shirt, right? So there's that. So he made it was homemade, and the makeshift flamethrower. What the hell is that? The event was the event, not this guy. The event was a peaceful until the attacker suddenly threw firebombs into. Of course, it was peaceful. They're Jews. Threw firebombs into the crowd and used a device to shoot flames at people. What the hell, man? This guy's evil. This guy's evil. By the way, can I just address the people online who are saying who are the? I saw a lot of people that are on the side of the resistance, the pro-Palestinian cause, pro-Palestinian, and a lot of them are like, "Oh no, we condemn this. This is not the way. This hurts the cause. It doesn't help it." Let me tell you what to say again. I need to go full screen for this, guys. Let me tell you what to say anytime somebody in the West says like, "Oh, this is not helpful. This hurts the cause. This is not the cause. This hurts the cause." This is what your response. No, motherfucker. This is the cause. This is your cause. Like some people are saying, "How is this going to help the Palestinian people? This is not going to free the Palestinian people. This is not the way. This is not the way. We condemn that." Tell them, you fucking moron. The whole Palestinian cause is not about freeing Palestinian people. Did you not get the memo? Did you not get the memo? Do you not understand what you're fighting for? The so-called Palestinian people were offered their freedom over and over and over and over again. And they said, how about no? How about no until Israel is a thing? We are not. They admit that they're not fighting for freeing Palestine. They admit that they're fighting for the annihilation of Israel. Nina saying 6 times. I mean, I counted 5 times, but maybe you're right. I mean, I my list was not complete. You know what? In fact, there is a tweet that I just saw recently about this Palestinian guy, so-called Palestinian guy. I think somebody in the West Bank admitting this on camera. I don't have that ready. Should I go find that? Should I go find that for you guys? I think I have it in my bookmarks. Do I have it in my bookmarks? Well, let me see. I could go find that when I'm showing you videos. Or yeah, maybe it's right here, isn't it? Did I save that somewhere? Nope, I did not save it. Or maybe it's in the just general bookmarks. Anyways, I'll look for it another time. They were talking to this guy in the West Bank, and it was like, "Do you guys want peace?" And they're like, "No, we just want Israel gone." If I could find it, that would be amazing. If I could find it right now. Nope, I don't have it. Wait, 1 second. Oh, I have this video of these Iranian people in LA. They were approached and talked about. Yeah, I will show you something else. I might get target. No, yeah, okay. Let's go back to what happened. Okay, so but that needs to be the response. Okay, so who was targeted? By the way, guys, be careful, because a lot of people who are on our side, as soon as an event like this happen, they go and they say things that are not true, and it makes our side look bad, right? So, for example, as soon as this happened, there was a whole bunch of Twitter accounts that said like, "Oh, children were burned as well," and apparently, no, there were no children. Okay, but that were burned, and I mean, this is still already monstrous enough. Some people were burned, and the fact that if you don't verify these things, if you go and say like children were burned and then children were not burned, now the other side will have this on their. They were like, instead of focusing on this monster terror attack that just happened, they would just jump on that, and they come and say like, "Oh, look, you were saying children were burned," and like they will try to make the whole thing about some people getting it wrong. So be careful about what you're saying. All right. So, for example, I saw some. Yeah, well, I will show you some of the other things that some people might have gone wrong. But be skeptical. Just make sure that you wait, you verify, or if you can't verify when you're talking about it, demonstrate skepticism. And like, I don't know if this is true. Like, if you hear a news and you don't know if it's true or not, if you haven't verified it, just say that. Say like, I've also heard this, not sure if it's true. So that cannot be used against you. Okay. So who was targeted? The rally was organized by a group which holds regular events to raise awareness about Israeli hostages held by Hamas. The people attending were mostly older Jewish Americans. Some of them were in their 70s and 80s, including a Holocaust survivor. Including a Holocaust survivor. Imagine that. Imagine getting through the Holocaust to eventually have to deal with this. Yeah, exactly. I'm really saying what I was thinking. Imagine that. Imagine like these are the guys are like, sure, I'm too old for this shit, man. Like, imagine going through the Holocaust and then waiting around to see the world turn this much anti-Jewish to the point that somebody is trying to burn you alive. What the hell, man? Like, wouldn't you be so like because if I if I want to put myself in the perspective, like in the shoes of a Holocaust survivor, I don't know. Right? Tell me if this is right or not. I would think like, oh, the world was shitty and now we're better, and you will go through like a couple of decades thinking like, oh my god, we put that era behind us now, right? Like, that's amazing. And now people are throwing Molotov cocktails at you after all that shit. Isn't that crazy? By the way, thank you, Gene, for reminding me. Um, somebody, Sarah, just became a member. Thank you, Sarah, for becoming a member. Sarah is Sarah, membership is the best way to support this channel, so I appreciate that. I will also read super chats if we get any during the show. And Gene was also pointing out that I should read D's comment. D saying, "Imagine surviving Auschwitz to almost be burned alive in the U.S." Wow, that's a line right there. That's a line right there. Imagine surviving in Auschwitz to almost be burned alive in the U.S. of A. The country that is responsible for defeating the Nazis now on its very own soil. People are doing this to Jews. Oh, Sohail is also saying that he sent me something on Telegram. Where in? Oh, yeah, okay. So I will also look that up. Oh, yeah, let me actually see. The Iranian restaurant thing, I'm not able to show that because they were swearing a lot. Maybe I will show it anyways. You know what? We're already doomed because I'm using so many dirty words on this stream. We're so doomed. This live stream is doomed. Guys, make sure you like the stream because we are saying so many bad words. But let me see. So Hale just sent me something saying, Armin, I sent you something on Telegram. It's a post by Emily Schreider about the pro-Palestinian harassing an Iranian family at a restaurant. I saw it myself today. Yeah, I've seen it everywhere. That has gone viral. So okay, I will show it. I will show that after we cover this news. But thank you for, yeah, I will show it. It's such a big video these days, like everywhere, that I need to show it. But you also sent me a meme. Let me actually show this for a second. Let me see what are we saying here. Okay. Saying people need to learn how to clap back Persian style. Oh, that's the response to that. That's the response to that video. Okay, yeah. Okay, I will show the meme after I show the video. So let me put this on the list of things I need to show today. But let's get back to this guy for now. By the way, can I before I forget, because Gene was also talking to me about this. Again, I have changed my mind about something. First, but about the part that I haven't changed yet, well, ever. This confirms Zionism. And I want to remind everybody that if you suggest, I mean, you don't need the suggestion. I know you already think about these things yourselves. I just want to make the suggestion just to piss off the anti-Zionists, to show what these actually encourage, what these actions actually encourage. This is another one of the million reasons why we need Zionism, because Jews need to get together and protect each other, defend each other. They cannot rely on the powers of other countries, of the on superpowers, of bigger countries to always be for them, right? Like things could turn. Like throughout their history, Jews have learned that you cannot rely on others. You have to have your own country. You have to control your own destiny, and you have to become strong by yourself instead of constantly relying on empires and other great powers in the world, right? I mean, this is on U.S. soil. This is happening on U.S. soil, right? So this shows that Jews need to consider, Jews in the US and Jews in Canada and Jews in Europe and Jews everywhere in the world, they need to consider going to Israel. They need to consider just building Israel, going there and using their work and talent to build that country and make it stronger. And again, every time a Jew is attacked, just remember, this confirms Zionism. This shows Zionism is the right movement, is the move in the right direction. And about the thing that I changed my mind on is that I used to want to say that Israel, like, let's focus on the Israeli identity rather than the Jewish identity. And I know a lot of people say that's the same thing. And I say, in Israel we have many people who are not Jewish, but they are Israeli and they have equal rights to other people who are not Jewish. So we should focus on the Israeli identity in Israel rather than the Jewish identity. However, when it comes to identity politics, when your enemies are using that against you, you need to push back. So identity focusing on identity, if it starts by your enemies, you cannot ignore it. And if an identity is uh, being used as a target, then you need to use that identity as a shield. When people are using a label on you as a way to target you, then you need to use the same label as a way to get together and protect against the people who are trying to use that label as a target. So sometimes you're forced to focus on an identity, right? And this is why when I used to resist saying Israel needs to be a Jewish state. I used to say Israel needs to be a state for Jewish people and for everyone else, but it needs to be a state that always provides refuge to Jewish people. But calling it a Jewish state, I thought, is a step too far, because there are many Israeli citizens who are not Jewish. But I changed my mind completely at this right now. I mean, it's been a while I've been thinking about this. I changed my mind. I mean, given that anti-Jewish hatred around the world is so massive, and the whole, like, I mean, fuck, what is the right tone to have? We're being targeted. This is about survival. When you are figuring out what makes us as a people, what can help our survival, if you are not in a position that your survival is secured, then all these other talk about what is the right thing to say, what is the right thing to frame it, what is the best way to talk about this, what is the right tone, all of that, is secondary. The right to life, it comes before the right to everything else. So if by calling Israel a Jewish state and making it a place where Jews can come together and create a defensive mechanism against all of this hatred, not just a defensive mechanism for themselves, but by calling it a Jewish state, it unites the Jewish people in a way that they create a powerful unity, a powerful machine that is actually is fighting against an evil that is coming for the rest of the world. So even though we're calling it a Jewish state and that might unify Jewish people together more to be able to unite with each other, at the end of the day, the benefit of it is not just for the Jewish people, it benefits everybody. So I'm not going to be as picky anymore regarding calling it a Jewish state. I think it actually makes sense based on all the hate Jewish people are getting around the world. But let me address. Okay. I also need to remind something that Jean told me. Remind everybody about something Jean told me. But before I do that, Erica just became a member. Thank you, Erica, for being a member. These memberships, again, I remind everybody, it's the best way to support this channel. I appreciate that. Also, we have member only content. So if you are a member, check those. And Nima just gifted 5 memberships to people in the chat. I appreciate that as well. Let me see. And okay, and Gene wanted me to tell you guys, if anybody here is Jewish and they're considering going to Israel, if any, let me see. So basically, if any of our community members are inquiring about relocating to Israel due to recent events, I want you to give them my email. And okay, so here's Gene's email. Let me actually put it in the chat and I will highlight it. If you guys want to reach to anybody regarding relocating to Israel because you feel unsafe in wherever you are, Jean is a Jewish Israeli. This is how you can contact her. Okay, that's her email. She offered her email to anybody who wants to talk about relocating to Israel. Okay, so let me actually continue. The attack itself happened around 9:30 a.m. The attacker lit multiple Molotov cocktails and threw them at the crowd. First of all, again, YouTube, we're condemned this. Also, second of all, how I can't even imagine. I can't even comprehending that. Seeing a bunch of elderly people peacefully having an event in the park, and you just throwing Molotov cocktails at them in the freaking, like, I cannot comprehend that a mind that wants to do that. It's unimaginable to me. It's crazy. Okay. And then it says he used to, okay, I already read that 12 people were injured. So guys, what I'm seeing so far is that nobody died, which is great. Can anybody confirm that nobody died? Because they were injured. 12 people were injured, and again, injury from burning is so bad. And the ages, guys, check this. The range of age was from 52 to 88. Some had burns and one was seriously injured, because there was one guy that was seriously injured. A few participants fought back, knocking the attacker down and helping police arrest him on the spot. So who was the attacker? The attacker's name is Mohamed, of course. Mohamed Soliman, a 45-year-old Egyptian national. He entered the U.S. legally in August 2022 on a B2 tourist visa, but get this, his visa expired in February 2023. So he was just staying in the U.S. on an expired visa. Here's the thing: this is why you shouldn't be accepting anybody. Why do you need tourists from Egypt, United States? You shouldn't be accepting tourists from Egypt. Why did you allow this person to come here? And then he applied for asylum and got a temporary work permit, which expired in March 2025. So let me get this straight. Can people confirm what I'm hearing here is correct or not? Even though the man overstayed, like, his visa expired and he was staying illegally in the country and he was supposed to go back and he didn't, you gave him a work permit. So here's your reward for not following our laws. You don't. I mean, why would other people respect your laws? This happened during Biden's administration. I mean, not only there's no consequences for you violating the law, you're like, hey, how about some money? How about some, like, wouldn't this encourage a whole bunch of other people come from Egypt? Like, hey, we could just get a tourist visa. I mean, we will be the return on investment is very high. My plane ticket, if I just go there on a tourist visa and don't come back, if I work in the US, the money that I would make will pay for my plane ticket price and then some, and I would be able to make much more than I'm making in Egypt. And he applied for asylum. Asylum for what? Like his life was in danger in Egypt. My God, the asylum process is a joke these days. Guys, can I tell you something? I don't admit this. I haven't admitted this live on air before, but sometimes from I have a Persian show, which the audience there is mostly Iranians from Iran, right? And we sometimes get messages from Iran, people getting us, asking us to try to help them to come to the West with the asylum process, right? And some of these people, like a lot of them, are good people that would not cause any problem in the US or Canada, in the West or in Europe. But we tell them, no, you are not in imminent danger. What are you doing taking advantage of the process? Like, you are not a person that, like, oh, but I'm an ex-Muslim, I'm an atheist, I follow your show, I'm a big fan. I'm like, okay, but the asylum process is supposed to be only for people that they're immediately. You know how many ex-Muslims are in Iran? Do you know Iran is ex-Muslim central? Okay, so what do you think? Do you think every single one of them are about to die tomorrow? Like, I feel for them. Their situation is very bad, and they're economically in a bad situation. But that's not what the asylum process is for. So, and some of them, I mean, a lot of them to be fair, a lot of them understand this, but some of them end up hating on me. They're like, "Oh, Armin, you don't see our situation. You don't see our lives. You're already there, and now you're talking to us as if you're like." Yeah, but I know your life is hard, but the asylum process is not for people who are their lives are hard. The asylum process is for people who are about to die or something severely, like right now. It's for, and all of. Let me tell you, the 90 more than 90% of people who are using the asylum process are betraying their own people, because by using it, they're not letting the system to be used by those few minority peoples that actually need it. So if you are a refugee in Canada or in the US or in Europe, and you use it just because you wanted a better life, and you're actually an economic migrant, you betrayed somebody. You basically got in line in front of somebody who needed this more. And that's why I think this whole asylum process is a joke. It's a joke. I mean, the only solution right now is to shut it down. And I know some people would be hurt, some people who actually genuinely deserve to use it, but you cannot help the whole world if you're ruining your own society. You should be like, yeah, no, not a single person do we accept from Muslim countries. Not a single, even if you deserve it. Unfortunately, I mean, we cannot help the world if we're destroying our own civilization. Just shut the whole thing down completely. Not a single Muslim country, and that includes Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Mr. Trump. Not a single Muslim country do we accept not no asylum seekers, no work visas, no student visas, no nothing. You're not welcome here. That should be this policy. I mean, I don't know. Even under Trump, they're not doing that. Okay, so his visa expired in 2023, and he was in the U.S. all this time. When I was a teenager in Iran, I thought I had this image of the U.S. that if you wanted to go to the U.S. From like a third world country or something, they would basically check everything in your life. They would, if you had a parking ticket somewhere, they were like, nope. If you one day on social media said something that would remotely be anti-Western, they were like, nope. That's my. And if you went to the US or Canada or the Europe, if you were not on your best behavior, like, forget about just abiding by the law, you should be an example. You should be morally superior to everyone around you, just to make sure you lose your privileges and they continue to welcome. That was my image of what it's like to go to the US. But this man, but boy, was I wrong. But this man, I see the super chat. I will respond to it soon. This man was there from like he was overstaying his visa for 2 years. For 2 years, like, do we not have things that I like? Do we not have a system that would like, okay, where is this guy? I mean, did you not know where he is? He was applying for work visa, so you know have his address. You know you have in your system that this man overstayed his visa. You know where he is. What I mean, I know that these things are more complicated probably than I understand, but somebody tell me, why is it not as simple as, oh yeah, we're going to kick you out, we know where you are, in our system it shows that you weren't supposed to be here, so we're just going to send somebody to your home, arrest you, and kick you the f out. Why is it not as simple as that? I mean, if they had did that, this event wouldn't have happened. Oh, let me see what S Hope. Thank you, S Hope, for the super chat. Hope is saying, well, that's an orange super chat. Thank you. That's very generous. I appreciate that. That's very nice. Hope is saying, I went to University of Colorado at Boulder. Am I pronouncing Boulder right? From 2005 to 2009, when it was very liberal to stand up for us Jews, Israel, Zionism, and it was liberal to push for asylum seekers come here legally. Okay, so I think by liberal you mean progressive. When it was very liberal to stand up, you mean too liberal? You mean too? I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you mean they were too progressive to stand up for Jews, Israeli, and Zionism? Is that what you mean? Because let's not ruin the name word liberal, okay? Because Israel is liberal. Okay, these people are not liberal. These people are progressive. Oh, okay. Shana is saying I'm saying Boulder correctly. Fantastic. Did I understand you correctly, Hope? Is that what you meant to say? Or did I completely get this wrong? I'm going to keep this starred in case I need to reread it and I got it. So you're saying they were so progressive that they weren't supporting Israel when you were there in the university. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Shana also gave us a super chat. Thank you, Shana. Shana is saying they had to focus on the active violent criminals first is part of the problem. Yeah, yeah, I mean, okay. I understand. Yeah, again, I understand that once you go dig into it, these things are harder to do than I'm making. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. In my mind, it looks a lot more simple. But I know usually when you're not familiar with the processes of something, it looks simple, and then when you look into it, you're like, oh, okay, I see why it's complicated, right? I know that. I know that. And also, thank you for the super chat. Um, Seth with another super chat saying Al Qaeda. You think Al Qaeda training manual says file for asylum? Really? It says that Al Qaeda's training manual says that. Are you sure? That is crazy. Oh, okay. So we're gonna thank you for the super chat. Okay, Hope just gave us another super chat clarifying. Thank you for the super chat, guys. I misread super chats on purpose so that I get a clarifying super chat. That's see, I did. That's a 4D chess move. Thank you, Hope. Thank you for this support. Hope is saying, no, it was progressive and liberal to it was progressive and liberal. You cannot be progressive and liberal at the same time. Progressive is contradiction. So it was progressive and liberal to stand with Jews, Zionism, showing how things have changed so much. Oh, you're saying back then they were liberal and they did support Jews and Zionism, and now it has changed. And the word liberal progressive have been hijacked. Oh, okay. Now I get what you're saying. Oh, so you also want to save the word progressive as well. Okay, okay, okay. That's very ambitious of you, Hope. Okay, so you're saying that at that point they were liberal and progressive and they support the Jews. And Zionism, but now things have changed dramatically. I understand that. Wow, Hope, you actually see you want to save the word progressive. That's very ambitious. I'm trying to save the word liberal from this leftist maniacs. You're actually trying to get back the word progressive as well. That's interesting. Okay, never seen somebody do that. Uh, yeah, that's okay. Let's get back to what happened. Okay. No, actually, let's go to the comments that people are making because I need to get ready for. Yeah. So, what people are arguing about right now about this event that just happened? Some people, some right leaning politicians like Donald Trump, are saying that this is the result of Biden's open border policies. I mean, I saw some people trying to correct that and say this is not open border policies because he came legally. Well, I mean, to be fair to Trump here, if it's so easy for you to use the legal processes that you have to come here and just say, and then nobody is going to do much of anything about it, and not only you're not going to get punished, you're going to get rewarded with a work visa. Just call it, just saying that he came legally. Well, then your legal process is shit, right? It's basically your legal process is very similar to open borders. So that's how I would defend his statement. Not that I always agree with him. Yeah, so Shauna is giving us a super chat. Again, guys, today we're getting so many memberships on super chat. What's going on? I appreciate that. Thank you. Shauna is saying Americans tend to use the word liberal to mean leftish. Yeah, and we need to fix that because the reason why the Americans think like that is because for a while, anti-liberal views were coming from the right. So holding a liberal position seemed to be anti-right. But now a lot of anti-liberal positions are coming from the left. So we need to have a shift in the way that we look at this, right? So, for example, in Iran, for a long time, liberal, the word liberal made you people associated liberal with right leaning in Iran, because we in Iran had to deal with the plague of communism, with and communist views are the thing that we hate the most in Iran. So, because we see communism as anti-liberal in Iran, when you say somebody is liberal, what comes to people's mind is right-leaning, which is interesting. So it depends on your history, on where your anti-liberal positions are coming. So now we need a more shift in the United States because we see a lot of anti-liberal. I mean, to be fair, anti-liberal positions are coming from all directions, left and right. Oh wow, Sam is saying same as Israel. Liberal was right up until 1980s. Yeah, exactly. It depends on which side is attacking liberal views the most. All right, so let's actually look at the comments people are making on social media, and then we go to that thing Sohail sent us about what happened in Iran. Again, that will definitely get us demonetized, if not stricken down by the YouTube gods. But let's go through these, and then I'll show you the video that we got from LA, actually, by some Iranians in LA. This so-called pro-Palestinian activist was harassing people in a restaurant, and they came about some Iranians, and you see how the Iranians respond. This is quite interesting, right? Upper class, wealthy Iranians, right? So yeah, we already watched this video. Let's look at this terrorist. So here, Mohamed Soliman just lit a bunch of elderly Jews on fire in Colorado while shouting "Free Palestine." Oh yeah, police were saying too early for motive. Yeah, but now they're saying it's calling it terrorist attack. Yeah, but again, I appreciate you marking this movement, mentioning what Free Palestine really represents. I appreciate you doing that. This is the guy, and this is the chaos after. So they're trying to. So somebody was trying to put out the fire on some of these people. Yeah, that's freaking insane. Let me see. This one is saying MSNBC reporting that the assailant in Boulder, Colorado, was a white man. Mohamed Soliman was an assailant, and he is not a white man. Okay, let me see. Did MSNBC actually call him a white man? Oh.
As far as the investigation itself, we're still trying to verify and confirm some video, but it appears to show a significant portion of the incident as it happened. There's an individual that's taken into custody. He's a white male. Whether or not that's the person that police ultimately arrested and will ultimately charge in this crime, a bit of a question at this time, but that's just what we've seen so far.
Okay, let's be fair. I mean, he looks white. Like, I mean, I don't think this was a. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of anti-white racism spreading in the United States, and I call it out whenever I see it. But he does. I mean, he does look pretty white. Okay, I know he's an Arab, but I'm not gonna be one of those guys that uses anything, everything. I mean, I would. That's a mistake that you could make. That's a mistake you could make. Like, look, he's pretty pale. Okay. Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. Some Arabs are white. So I don't think he was. I don't think you. If you want to be acting like, oh my god, they're trying to blame it on white people. I mean, how is that guy supposed to check his ethnicity right on the spot? It was like he also even said at the beginning that we don't know, like this has just happened. He also showed some skepticism. Let me see what this guy is saying. Again, I don't want to get into this tribal, like, oh, look at this. Just because we're anti these left-leaning wokes, not all left-leaning again people, we don't want to try to cry victimhood, like, oh, look, they use every opportunity. Like, yeah, we don't want to exaggerate. So Benny is saying Fox News has been informed by what does DHS stand for? Three sources that the Boulder terrorist Mohamed Soliman is an Egyptian national who entered under Biden, overstayed his visa, and got a work authorization from the Biden administration. Let me see here. Okay, MSNBC describes the foreign terrorist suspect in Colorado as a white male. You knew this was coming. Again, I saw a lot of right-leaning accounts basically jumping on this, like, oh, you're calling it a white man. This is like, oh, you're prosecuting. I mean, our white people are being blamed. I mean, again, the guy was pretty pale. Honest mistake. Let me see what the White House is saying. Is this about that event?
2 weeks, and it is.
I saw Trump making a post on Truth Social, basically blaming Biden for having open borders. I saw that, but let's see what she is saying.
We have seen two horrific cases of anti-Semitic violence in our country in the last 2 weeks, and it is unacceptable to this president and this White House. And rest assured, to all Jewish Americans across our great country, this president has your back, and he's not going to allow anyone to.
Okay, let me actually interrupt. Okay, I mean, I appreciate that. I would appreciate that. However, it's hard. It's a harder sell these days when this president has become so close and so buddy with the enemies of Israel. Like, his best friends are not the Qataris, the funders of Hamas. So yeah, I mean, guys, the Israelis in the chat, does that not piss you off that this president came into office acting like he's going to be the most pro-Israeli president ever, and then he came out and became so close, and yeah, exactly, anti-Islam, saying BFFs with the Qataris, which basically were the main funders of October 7th. Does that not piss, like, does that not piss you off? Yeah, Torah by saying it's a little scary. Okay, yeah, Amir saying surprising, but not that surprising. Yeah, I mean, the guy is all over the place. Arthur saying, I knew who was Trump from the start. Well, I know he was unpredictable. Jewish someone saying, I'm not pissed off because I expected it. Well, okay, Nostradamus, we'll help them. Okay. All right, so let's continue.
Assured to all Jewish Americans across our great country, this president has your back, and he's not going to allow anyone to take part in violent terrorism, acts of terrorism in our country. And that's what this case in Boulder, Colorado is being investigated as. Kudos to our FBI director, Kash Patel, for immediately calling this a targeted terrorist attack. That's clearly what it was. But I'd also like to point out that this administration has done more than any administration to curb this violence and to curb illegal immigration. We secured our border in record time, but we're also tightening up our visa process and our legal immigration process. And we know
You okay, I don't like this. You're gonna tighten up your visa process? No. How about no? How about you just shut it down? You don't need to tighten your visa process. You need to shut it down. Where is first term Trump that says basically nobody from Islamic countries? I mean, even then he didn't include Saudi Arabia, I think. Did he? I don't know. But what the hell? You don't need to tighten up the visa process. You need to completely abolish it. You need to stop it. Why do you accept? Do we not have enough people from around the world that wants to come to the United States? Do you know how many people around? Do you know how many countries with Christian backgrounds have people that would love to come to the United States and work there? Why are you so desperate for like you have other people? You know, you could go to the southern part of Africa, the Christian part, not the Islamic northern part. There are plenty of people that will be amazing workers. You could go to Vietnam. You could get from Vietnam. You could get from the Philippines. These people are not, they would love to come to the US. They're not going to cause you any problem. Just shut it down from Islamic countries.
But I'd also like to point out that this administration has done more than any administration to curb this violence and to curb illegal immigration. We secured our border in record time, but we're also tightening up our visa process and our legal immigration process. And we know that this individual, this terrorist, was allowed into this country by the previous administration, was foolishly given a tourism visa, and then was illegally allowed to stay. These individuals are going to be deported, and we're not going to tolerate such violence.
Are they? We'll see. This is a good take by the account of the entire country, Israel. So Israel is saying when Hamas's lies are being spread, Jews are being attacked. Oh no, I read that wrong. When Hamas's lies are being spread, Jews are being attacked. Basically, this is the point of this entire stream that we're making. This is the point that we're trying to make with the stream, but telling you guys that you need to go be active online against all this anti-Jewish hate. And guys, you don't have to be Jewish to do that. Let me make this clear why this is important for every single one of us. If you are a liberal fighting for liberal values around the world, if you are enjoying the world, if you think that in the past 100 years the world has made a lot of great progress, right? Things have become better. You know, you like the direction that things are going. You like the fact that I don't know, half of your children are not dying before age 5. You like the idea that you have access to clean water, that medical we have so much medical advances, science. You like the internet. You know, there are a lot of the things that we take for granted. The advancements in science, much more peace and security that we enjoy today compared to 100 years ago, or basically compared to anywhere, anytime in human history. If you think like, you know, in this past 150 years, we did something that made everything a lot better. That's basically the world liberal order. Okay, that's what happened. And it's unique. We never had anything like this in the past 10,000 years of human civilization, right? If you think this has all been nice, I mean, if you think it hasn't been nice, it's because you haven't been paying attention. You have a very short-term horizon when you're evaluating how good things are. Things are amazing relatively to how things always were in history. And if you like the system, you like the structure, like, you know what? We kind of figured it out. Well, right now, there's this tiny little country. There's this tiny little country that is doing most of the work when it comes to fighting the enemies of this system. I mean, there's technically two. One is Israel and one is Ukraine, right? But basically, these two countries right now are paying most of the price. They're carrying most of the burden when it comes to standing between the world versus the enemies of the world. Okay, these two countries. So supporting them is basically supporting the entirety of this whole system that we have. Right? So supporting Israel is not supporting Israel. Supporting Israel is supporting the world. Right? There you go. Let's go read the rest of this. We are so he's saying we are shocked by the terrible anti-Semitic terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, targeting Jews who wish to express their solidarity with the hostages held by Hamas. By the way, some of these people I've heard were basically also very sympathetic to the people of Gaza. So this is it's crazy how every time that these anti-Semites go and try to kill or are successful or try to be successful at killing some Jews, there are always some they go with the people that were actually sympathetic to the situation of people in Gaza as well. And then it continues saying, we pray for those people who were wounded in the attack. Yeah, that does nothing. But okay. This attack, like the murder of the two staff members of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., and the attacks on synagogues in France, is the direct result of incitement against Israel. And guys, hey, can start? Where is that? The Jewish or Nostradamus in the chat. The Jewish girl, Jewish Samantha. Can you help me out here, because my prediction is that this is going to increase. This is just the start of it, unfortunately. Like, do you agree with me? And also, we got a whole bunch of new super chats, so I will respond to those soon. Do we? Oh no, we got one, but that's nice. Thank you. So my prediction is that this is going. Yes. Okay, there we go. We got confirmation. So unfortunately, we're going to see more of this. And again, every person that is on the side of the so-called pro-Palestinian cause is responsible for it. So it says, lies against Israel transform into fire against Jews. Oh, that's a very powerful line right there. Lies against Israel transform into fire against Jews. Exactly. This must be stopped. Pretty on point. We got a super chat. Ginga is saying the news say he was charged with murder. So, so he got no. Did he? Not attempted murder, I thought. Let me see. What charges is he facing? 16 counts of attempted first degree murder. Attempted first degree murder, unless something changed. Federal hate crime. So that's one. Second, the other charges he's facing: federal hate crime charges for targeting people based on perceived religion or nationality. And he's being held on a $10 million bond. Oh, one person died? So my news is not as updated as what you guys really. That's horrible. What the fuck? One person died. Shit. Really? So when last time I checked, so now he's gonna get charged for murder? That is freaking horrible. Huh? Is there? I heard. That is freaking cool. I might actually look into this. Well, thank you for letting me know. And I think Ginga, thank you so for your super chat. I did not know that. You guys make sure that we're up to date. That's horrible. Wow, this just got stuck. Well, now I don't know how to segue into this because this is glorious, but now you give me such a bad news. Okay, as of latest available reports, there have been no confirmed fatalities resulting from the June 1st, 2025 attack Boulder. However, several victims attained serious injuries and at least two. It's telling me there's no fatalities. Maybe it's wrong. So it's saying as of maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. You guys are saying there was a fatality. What I'm saying, it says like there's no fatalities. I could triple check. But anyways, let's go to Emily. Oh, Matt is saying thank you for covering this. Of course, as soon as it happened, I knew I had to come cover it. Yeah, so let's go to Emily Schreider again, guys. If let me ask you a question, guys. If you are not following Emily Schreider on whatever social media that is of your choosing, then what's wrong with you? Like what are you even doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay? She has the absolute best takes, and I have the honor of her following me as well. And also, I have the honor of having her as a guest on this channel. Yes, go watch that. Yeah, people are in the chat saying, I love Emily. Yes, I love her too. All right. Let's see. So, pro-Hamas mob harasses Jewish families at Los Angeles restaurant and gets what they deserve. Don't F with the Iranians. Okay, so apparently this is a Jewish Iranian family. If they're a Jewish family, because I don't know if you know, Iran had a lot of Jews. Many of them left Iran. So this is in LA. So let's watch this together. It gets pretty intense. And again, this video has gone viral. Let's watch this.
Excuse me, my dear.
So the guy is holding the camera is a pro-Palestinian, so-called pro-Palestinian activist, which means he's a terrorist sympathizer. But let's watch this together.
Excuse me, my dear brother. May we ask you if you have a stance on Palestine?
What's that?
A stance on Palestine?
So these are Iranian, and he starts speaking Persian. All of the people who are sitting at this table, they're Iranian. So watch this. Look at his response. The boy's response is flawless. The father gets in and he gets very intense, but the boy's response is mwah, chef's kiss. Watch this.
Excuse me, my dear brother. May we ask you if you have a stance on Palestine?
What's that?
A stance on Palestine?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
You don't know it?
I don't know. What's that? What is that? Like Palestine? Never heard of it. I haven't heard of it. I don't know what that is. Flawless, amazing. I'm going to copy that if I yeah, Dark is saying I don't get the logic of harassing random people like that. I mean, these fucking wokey leftists, they're fucking insane. I mean, they constantly destroy their own. I mean, they have everything. They have, like, these Islamists have given them all the victimhood cards that they could possibly use, and all of a sudden they just throw it away with their weird activism. So let's go one more time. But let's go through the whole thing. I'm not gonna pause it.
Excuse me, my dear brother. May we ask you if you have a stance on Palestine?
What's that?
A stance on Palestine?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is? Can you give us the middle finger again, please?
Yeah, right here.
Nice. Thank you. I needed that angle.
How
I
do you
needed
got
that
hair
shot.
under your armpits now?
Since I'm not one of you.
You have hair under your armpits?
That's it. I know I made a mistake. I fucked your mom and piece of shit like you came out. I fucked her in the ass. I'm sorry.
You said
I had to like brush her. Brush her out.
no, it's good, please.
It's okay. That's
No,
what
we like that.
You
You guys are from Palestine? Where are you from? You're from Iran? Where are you from? Where are you from? Iran? So what the F do you have to do with Palestine, brother? Oh, Susanna. Benzona. Benzona. Excuse me, sir. Can we ask you your stance on Palestine? Yes, motherfucker. It's good.
Get the fuck away.
You guys are vicious. You're a nasty woman.
I knew I should have fucked her in the ass.
You're a nasty
Piece of shit
man.
like you would come out.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself.
You know,
Get the fuck out of here. You're not gonna get anything.
you
here.
kiss your mother with that mouth? The same mouth?
you.
Oh, you're just, brother, you keep.
I want to picture you. I don't want to.
Sir, can we get your stance on Palestine? Here, my friend. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
You
go.
guys, you.
50,000. Sir, may I ask you this?
I'll send you a message.
I'm Israel Chai.
I'm Israel. Thank you. You know what? She had the guts to speak her mind.
I will.
Ma'am, you know what? We like that. Fortunately, your face is very unfortunate, but we wish you're in Hollywood. You could get plastic surgery. It can be okay. My friend.
Come on.
So tell me more. Who are you fucking in the ass?
I
Tell me
want to
again.
see my son.
You've said 8 times.
I want to see my son.
I'm your son. Sir, can you tell us one more time?
How?
Come on.
How? I know what? That would be she was on her stomach. That's why you look
That
like
would be
shit.
a disappointment and an embarrassment. Please don't put me in the
If
same
you really
position.
want to help them, go tell them to give the hostages back.
That's all you
Don't
do.
come and stand.
Back up. Back the fuck up. So why are you so mad? Lighten up, buddy. The sidewalk is legal, guys.
need to get lives out. Why are you targeting these fucking...
He's gonna be a star. Your father is a star.
was your husband, sir.
Yes, my
I thought that was your husband.
Is that a transgender man? Are you a transgender
We love
man?
trans, sir. It's okay.
We love transgender people.
Look at this. Looks like a fucking monkey. Look at monkey. Hey, monkey.
Wow. Okay, that was pretty intense. But I don't know, these pro-Palestinian people, so-called pro-Palestinian people, I mean, they're not doing themselves a favor. I mean, keep doing this so that we can see what you're like. I mean, guys, you know what? Sometimes I feel bad for the people in Gaza when I see the people who are supposed to be supporting them, like the reason why they are in this much trouble is because they have friends like these. I mean, if you have friends like this supporting you, who needs enemies? Right? Honestly, that the main enemies of people in Gaza are the people who are acting like they're supporting them. Oh my god. Fucking. But so people meme this. Apparently, this is what Sohail sent me. People need to learn how to clap back like like Persian style. So say free Palestine. Again, the guy has responded, "I fucked your mom in the ass and pieces of shit like you can." This is such a Persian insult. Like, I don't know, like Persian insults have no chill. Like they go all out. That's actually in Persian. This is how people swear at each other in Persian. I can't. It's just funny to me because reading it in English, because I constantly heard these types of swears in Persian, but when you translate it into English, it's just so weird to actually read it in English. It's just such a common Persian swear. Yeah, so this thing is poetic. Oh god, yeah. So yeah, sometimes when people swear at me in Persian in the chat and stuff, I'm like, Jesus, I forgot how intense Iranians are, but they're swear. They have no. I mean, also their love in Persian. Expressions of love is to the extreme, and then expression of hate is also to the extreme. They're very poetic people. They have thousands of years of a culture of being very expressive through poetry. So even in modern times, it shows itself. Like, so sometimes when you translate expressions of love from in Persian, if you translate it to English, it sounds very weird, right? So, for example, step on my eyes, like, oh, you're like you're some like if somebody says something, you ask you to do something in a way to show them that you will do it willingly for them, it would be your honor. Is like your foot in my eye, okay? Or if you really love somebody, you say, I'll eat your liver, right? I'll eat your liver. Jigar to بخورم is a expression of like love to somebody in Persian. I'm like, what? I mean, it sounds kind of normal when you say it in Persian, but then when you translate it, like, oh my god, that is, that is intense. Yeah, escalating mode, exactly. Yeah, I love you so much that I will eat your liver. Basically, that's what they're saying, right? Anyways, okay. All right, guys. So, as that lady in that video mentioned, I'm Israel Kai. Also, please like this video. Also, I'm going to be going on a trip. I'm going to go on a trip for 10 days. So, I'm not going to be around for 10 days, but don't worry. I'll be back. I'll be back in 10 days. However, I know a lot of Israelis watch this. And just in case one of you are somehow connected to Netanyahu, can you please, I'm joking, by the way, can you please somebody tell him to, if he's about to attack the regime in Iran, can he wait until I get back? Can he please not do it in the next 10 days? I just wait for me to get back. Somebody, I would be devastated if he waited exactly for this time period that I'm traveling for him to do this. You know what? I'm actually, if he does that, I might actually, wherever I am, just take my phone and just go live like this. I'm just gonna go live like this if he does that, right? Because right now I don't know. I would be. This is very bad timing if he attacks it. Just wait for 10 days. Just wait for 10 days and then do the attack, please. All right. Make sure you like the stream. I need you guys, especially because we're gonna have a 10-day gap. So no activity on the channel is gonna hurt the channel. For 10 days. YouTube punishes you guys. Did you know that? YouTube, like, you think you can take a 10-day break with no consequences to your channel? How about we punish the entirety of all your other videos for daring to take a break? How about we do that? That's what YouTube does. YouTube has taken us hostage and said, like, no break for you. Okay. No breaks for you. If you want to take a break, then we will see a global reduction on all your videos, even the ones that you have made before. We will be punished for that. That's how YouTube treats the YouTubers. All right. But I appreciate you guys. So, guys, make sure you like the videos. Maybe if you, in this 10 days, go back and watch some of the videos that we have done before so that maybe the viewership continues, and yeah, and I'll see you guys soon in about 10 or 11. Yeah, it's abusive. Yeah, we're in an abusive relationship. Oh, wait, we have 5 comments that we got a super chat and 4 other comments that I'm supposed to read. Angry Keyboard Warrior saying, title of watch video about the DC shooting, say goodbye to the First Amendment. That man has lost it, seriously. That guy's takes are insane. Sometimes I just watch him just to laugh because he's completely lost it. And I knew, like, sometimes when people on the far left seem to become a little bit more liberal, it's always the Israeli thing that makes them snap back to their wokest narrative, to their woke narratives. Like, that's the take. That's your take. Like, instead of like we had a terrorist attack and you're worried about, like, oh, people are good, and really what happened to your First Amendment? It's insane. You know what? Maybe I should have responded to that. Makes me freaking angry. All right, Carl saying Armin still wants to protect his private fairy tale version of liberalism. What Carl? I don't think you understand liberalism. You guys are all liberals. You just don't know it. Do you believe in the separations of power? Do you believe in having three branches in your government so that you separate the government? Do you believe in free speech? Do you believe in secularism? Do you believe in nationalism? Do you guys know that nationalism is basically invented by liberalism? Do you know this whole liberal project that we have that started with the French Revolution is basically the birth of the modern nation state, the very concept of a nation state. If you're patriotic, then you're also a liberal. People don't understand. Liberal doesn't mean left leaning. Go study the history of liberalism so you understand what liberalism even means. If you are anti-mass migration, you're a liberal because you're defending the nation state, with the framework which is part of the modern liberal tradition that started since the French Revolution. The very concept of a nation state, the borders of which you're trying to protect when you're fighting back against mass migration, that's a liberal concept. So I think it's just a people's misunderstanding of what liberalism means. Maybe like we have to do a philosophy of liberalism on this channel one day. D is saying, what happened to our vetting process? Yeah, exactly. Oh, Cat Lady, I don't know what video you were referring to, so and it's hard for me to go find it during the stream. But thank you for your recommendation. Okay, guys, I read the comments that Jean has starred, so I've done my job. And I want to thank D, thank Amir, thank Jean, thank Sohail, thank the admins in the chat, thank Carl, who's also an admin in the chat, and everybody else. And also the most active people in our chat today were Jack Johnson, and Toro Worldwide, and the Cat Lady. You guys were the most active in the chat. I appreciate your activity in the chat. That actually increases the viewership of the video. So I appreciate all of you. Until next show, bye. Mwah.